And welcome back to Week 3, Day 2, once again here of the HCS Fall Season Pro League. And of course, join with me at the Xfinity desk, none other than T-Squared.
You see this face right now, Kyle? This is the face of a man that only has 7 minutes to eat his dinner and try to go to the bathroom at the same time. I could only choose to do one, and I ate, so I'm going to grab the nearest water bottle, and this may get weird.
You got to just do it at the same time. Just eat in the bathroom.
That's just gross.
Either way, of course, no time to wait as we got to get back into these matches. And our next match is going to be Enigma6 battling Team Envyus. Now, this is going to be an exciting one because we've got Team Envyus who only has that one loss on the very first day of Pro League, and they have been coming out strong, defeating Optic Gaming yesterday. And then, of course, E6, who's also had a lot of momentum going on, and they are looking to defeat this powerhouse. Now, of course, E6 is going to be Kratos, Boo Boo Doo, Stellar, and Suspector.
Yeah, and this is the match of the night, in my opinion. This is such a big battle because I believe if E6 is able to walk away with this win, they would be tied for first with Team Envyus in terms of win-loss record, and also Optic Gaming as well. So we could see a three-way tie here for first.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk about Kratos a lot here too as well. He's had so much consistency in here in Halo 5 through some of his settings there on screen as well. And, you know, I got the chance to talk to him before, and he actually told me that he claims to have the strongest shoe game in esports. And I know there are a lot of Halo players that...
What does that mean? Like his feet smell?
Like, shoe game, I'm thinking that's like the collection of shoes that they're rocking.
Oh, okay.
So I know APG's up there. I'm sure lots of people at home are up there as well. And I talked to him, and I said he's actually curious to see who else has got pretty strong shoe games. So if anything, you can always make sure you tweet at Carlos. And, of course, his Twitter is on screen there as well. And how good is your shoe game at home? Because Kratos is putting up a challenge here for everyone.
You know who's probably got a good shoe game would be Spartan's dad. The Cowboy boot collection is probably insane. I want to see a picture.
Yeah, so of course I talked to Kratos, and he'll be open to receiving those tweets. And make sure you use the hashtag HCS so Tom and I can take a look here. And I think maybe we should be the final judge or decision maker on who's the strongest game or strongest shoe game.
I'm not looking at all those tweets. That's all you, man. Everyone tweet at Elamite.
It's really difficult, Tom. I know you've had a lot of trouble for 10 plus years now, but either way, like we said, E6 going up against Evil Geniuses, and Evil Geniuses, you know, really struggling yesterday. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're able to bounce back, and whether or not Ninja was able to get into, you know,
E6 versus Envyus. E6 versus
Envyus.
Yeah, that's why, because if they win this, then Envy's now going to have 2 losses. That's why it would be a three-way tie for first if they win this one.
Right,
so that's why it's much more important than even if they were going up against EG. So they have an opportunity to pretty much move up twice in the standings because you are handing these guys a loss and you're getting a win at the same time. It's almost like you're moving up 2 places. So this is a big match for E6. If they're able to walk away with this win, that's going to say a lot about this season.
Yeah, and of course, we'll talk about EG later, of course, when they match up and see what Ninja's doing. But let's go ahead and take a look at the series layout that these two teams are facing up on. Games 1, 2, 3, Coliseum, CTF, Regret Slayer, and an Eden Strongholds.
Yeah, and then we're going to CTF Truth and then Plaza Slayer if the teams do go to those maps. And taking a look at this, I don't think that it necessarily favors any one team. I think that this is going to be a very competitive series for both of these guys. I think that Coliseum CTF is a great start for E6 though. Out of all the CTFs, I would probably want to play these guys on CTF Coliseum, mainly because I love the way that Kratos plays this one. He's always making his way over towards the elbow, getting those counter pulls, things like that, and that could be something that NB's not ready for.
Yeah, I mean, Coliseum CTF, we've seen Kratos so many times sneak up that elbow and be a really determining factor here on this game type. Doesn't matter, like when it was E6 versus Luminosity. Even when Luminosity had full map control and power weapons, they were still able to move a flag across the map and actually secure and capture to win that game.
And we got a tweet coming in. E6 versus Envy HCS. Wow, this is going to be sick. That's right, CYN. Casper, we appreciate your tweet. Make sure you continue to hit us up at ESL Halo. Use that hashtag HCS or at HCS. Either one will work. But yes, we will continue to put your tweets on the show and let us know who you're rooting for. Also in the chat, if you want to see Envy win, put a 1. If you want to see E6 walk away with this one, put a 2, or your Illuminati signs, whatever you guys do on the side of E6. I know you guys are hardcore fans. And Kyle, predictions.
My predictions here, I think I'm gonna go E6. I think they're gonna come out strong. I think they've worked out a lot of internal issues and things that they may have been having. So I think it's a good opportunity for them to still prove that they're one of these top contenders here.
I wonder if they work out their problems while they work out. That would probably work out for them.
I cannot believe you just said that. But either way, Stellar has been the big wild card here in this matchup. So we're going to start off with him, see what he's going to be able to do for this squad, whether or not he's going to be able to lead them to the victory.
Stellar missing his jump over there, and there wasn't any grenades, so it wasn't like he was trying to miss that on purpose. Now making his way over towards the top catwalk area, there is going to be a player over towards the top rockets. That's going to be Ola getting 3 shots onto Mikwin because Mikwin was too busy picking up a double kill. You can see perfect bait and switching coming out from Envy, but awesome shots from Stellar make that perfect shots from Stellar is going to take down Snipe Down. However, everybody on the Envy side has picked up some weapons, and they're slowly making their way into the base.
All right, and that's Hook now with the sniper rifle, so we've seen just how deadly he can be with this weapon, especially on Eden. Haven't seen a whole lot besides some of those ridiculous triple kills last season here with this weapon. Lots of no scopes. He's catching that player and went no time wasted, grabbing a quick headshot, sees the player below him. It's working together. Snipe Down with the scatter shot. You can see picks up a kill on Suspector. That flag is now moving across the map, and nobody else in a really good position to try and stop this at all. I'm not even going to go on board with it. That's a cap.
That's a cap. Hook is also watching the spawns over towards the cave area, so even has the intel and information that they're not spawning over there towards the elbow. Makes his way over towards that pyramid. Nice shot onto Kratos. Gets that kill. Mikwin still with rockets in his back pocket. Make that 2 kills going over 3 kills for Envy. Looking for the 4th one. Stellar, last guy alive. That's 4. This is looking like a possible another cap coming out from Envy. What a start for them.
Right, and this is the exact opposite of what I predicted to start happening this game. Hook is clearly off to a strong start. This cap is going in once again.
We have 3 geese right now on the side of E6,
right,
so watch out
up
for your goose alert. Pistola picks up 1 kill. Kratos finally getting his, but Boobadooboo and Suspector yet to find a kill in this game, and Boobadooboo is down, so this could become a goose, and he's able to get this shot, and Hook gets 3 kills now for the side of Envy. This flag's being pulled. Suspector and Boobadooboo yet to find a kill. That's the first one going over to Suspector. There's Jesse Boobadooboo over there trying to kill the flag guy. He does finally get one, so that's going to be finally all players for E6 getting a kill. Envy, what a fantastic start for them. Only 2 minutes into the game, already 2 captures in almost a third.
And considering it took 2 players almost 2 minutes to get a kill here, it's just how dominant Envy's been to start this one out, and even eating up 2 rockets before dying there by Hook. That's going to force Suspector. What? I thought he shot both rockets. Did he actually reload that?
Nerds versus ninjas. I love watching Halo matches. The HCS season is shaping up to be an awesome one. We appreciate the tweet. Keep them rolling in. And yes, it is a fantastic start for Envy. They are definitely putting on a show so far. Probably after watching Optic Gaming, they're like, hey, guys, we need to do the same thing that these guys just did to Allegiance and show our dominance as the #1 team here and make sure that everybody's talking about us and what we're going to be doing. So let's see if Envy's able to continue to put the hurt in onto these guys, because right now it's pretty ugly for the E6 squad.
And let's talk about a little more about the history on these teams and players. You know, of course, you had Hook and Boobadooboo that were essentially a little bit of a duo here last season, and now and at Halo World Championships as well, and now kind of splitting up. And of course, he did come over from Enigma6 here as well.
Snipe
so there's a lot of history.
By the way. Just Snipe Down has a snipe, just throwing that out there.
All right, we'll go take a look at Snipe Down, see what he's able to do with this, as he is considered one of the best snipers in the game. And, I like this play. It looks like players at his base are dying. You've got Mikwin being sneaky behind it. Now, Snipe Down's about to run into a player here, top rockets. He really needs to make sure he's able to win this battle, get some help here as well. Now, grabbing a quick body shot, and with the flag already being pulled here by Mikwin, this is not looking good for
Nice elbow
E6.
run. This is amazing setup coming up from these guys. Snipe Down, getting that killing spree in perfect position to help escort this flag in. Everyone on E6 is going to have to desperate in. There goes Kratos. That's not going to happen. 3-0 win in dominating fashion for Hook and the Envy squad. Are you kidding me? 12 kills. Oh my goodness, Hook.
That is a heavy outslaying here by Envy, and no surprise when it takes, like we said, 2 minutes to get a kill for 2 separate players on this team. This was just destruction here by Envy. Envy is now in their final form.
It's scary, man. You have Hook, who's just nasty overall. Then you have another player like Snipe Down, who's ridiculous with the weapons. Then you still got to worry about Pistola and Mikwin. So just so much slaying power coming out from these guys. And the big question is who would go in there and run the objective, and now everybody's kind of taking their turn doing that. And I love that play from Snipedown where he takes his pistol out and actually gets help. We see a lot of players go for the no-scope there, but Snipedown likes to conserve ammo.
Yeah, now we have a game 2 Regret Slayer coming up here now, and we've seen Envy be, well, actually both these teams have had a lot of success here on this game type. You've got Envy who is 1-0 on it. Now Enigma6 is 1-1. So, either one of these teams is able to secure the victory here. But, I mean, Enigma6 really needs to step it up if they have any chance, because that was a slaughter.
Yeah, and we're getting into this game pretty quickly. Got to give a shout out to a man behind the scenes, Mark, one of our admins, putting in some serious work here at ESL, making sure that we get into these games as fast as possible so you guys at home stay entertained.
So you guys can get to sleep at a decent hour, especially you Europeans.
Yeah, or you complainers. But either way, if you are watching this right now, share the stream, tweet it out to your friends, let everybody know that Envy's taking on E6. And again, in the chat, let us know if you're rooting for Envy. Put a 1 if you're rooting for E6. Put a number 2. And we are on board with Hook on Regret Slayer.
Right, Hook doing a pretty good job, just moving around back and forth through the map. Stellar picking up a big kill on Pistola. He was no shields. Now Hook does have the scatter shot here, just sitting top car 3. Essentially, does not know there's a player right in front of him. Boobadooboo gets the advantage. Couple shots there. Now that is going to be, or Boobadooboo will be cleaned up here by Mikwin, but that scatter shot's still down.
Yeah, Boobadooboo is, one of the X factors here for E6. He's a really solid player. He has the capabilities to carry a game, especially against a team like Envy. He's fully capable of doing so. But you're going up against, an Envy squad that beat Optic Gaming yesterday, and there are also no slouches on Regret Slayer as well. So based on what we're seeing so far, how fast that first game was, how well these guys are shooting, they seemed extremely focused today. They seemed extremely on the same page. The teamwork is there, communication's there. Just look at, they're on top of everything. Nowhere E6 goes isn't looked at by Envy. They're always watching all of the angles, and that's just perfect teamwork coming out from these guys.
Oh, and they're all trapped in red base. This is not the position you want to be in. You've got Envy collapsing here. They're all pushing out pink side, trying to cut down some of these angles, but they're playing scared. They're trapped below the base now, and just like that, 3 dead. Stellar is able to pick up a trade. Actually grabs 2 kills here, but he ultimately dies. Stellar saved them in that situation, but still Envy, just too much aggression.
Pistola with 5 kills, a wingman already to start this game probably. I think he's 0-5-1, so maybe not a wingman quite yet, but he's put it in work, and we saw Snipedown in this game up against Optic Gaming drop 17 assists, and I think our boy Dave Walsh was talking about how 90% of the kills for Envy were assisted, and that's just hats off to them for the amount of teamwork and communication that they're showing, and also just, again, being on the same page in this game type. It's not very hard to realize what the meta and the strategy is. Hold top center, drop down when the overshield's coming up, push out car side when you want to retake control. That's a nice nade from Boobadooboo. Getting that kill onto Pistola is going to stop the overshield. Now, we were talking about Boobadooboo earlier. He's definitely going to have to be the guy that steps up for E6 if they want to stand a chance in this series.
Ooh, and who can Boobadooboo find a little bit of a rematch 1v1 situation? Boobadooboo does come out ahead. Of course, we did see that overshield get burnt by Pistola, but looks like he ran right back down there to grab that old plasma caster. Take a look back at his eyes. He, in fact, did grab that weapon and grabbed his old BR, so this is a good situation for them. 8-kill lead here and looking to grab top center control.
Yeah, let's see if the Wizard has what it takes to do what he did yesterday against Optic Gaming, picking up that clutch double kill with the plasma caster. He has it back in his hands and hasn't even taken that gun out yet. There we see it. So let's see what he's going to be able to do with it. Takes that player down to no shields, gets that kill onto Boobadooboo. It's now a 10-kill lead, charging that one up. And the great thing about that is that only costs 1, and you get a handful of other grenades after that explosion. But eventually Stellar comes around, gets that priority kill, takes that weapon out of Pistola's hands.
All right, Stellar doing a good job here. Once the action slows down a little bit, we'll take a quick look at the stats again. Now, Enigma6 starting them out. A little bit of a comeback here. That's going to be led by Stellar here. We'll take a quick look. Snipedown sitting at 9-4 on his team. Stellar still negative. The only one positive currently for E6 is the Spectre with just a +1 ratio.
Yeah, Kratos sitting at 3-6 right now. He's definitely gonna have to pick it up a little bit, but he is someone that has a couple of these games and then starts to really pick it up at the end and clutches it for his team. So not too worried about him, but this is a decent game for E6. They're just keeping it close, and that's what you want to do against Envy, especially since that first one was not the way that you wanted that one to go. So just try to hang around there towards the end and try to maybe get that last overshield or something like that. Winning a couple 1v1s like that for Kratos is going to be a big confidence booster.
All right, now down to only a 4-kill lead here from Envyus, and we got that new overshield getting ready to come up at the very same time. Plasmacaster just spawned. That's going to go over to Mikwin. We'll go ahead and see what he's able to do with this weapon. He's trying to cut off some of these angles, listening and reacting to some callouts, but decides, hey, I'm going to set up here at overshield, see what I can't do to get this weapon. Does take 2 players weak, but Kratos
got a triple
what
kill.
did he just do?
Kratos got a triple kill, and that's going to secure the overshield for them. So we're just talking about how he needed to step it up, and he's pretty much doubled his kills just in a matter of seconds. Also grabs the overshield. Needs to watch out that Mikwin doesn't try to, that's a hook though, but we remember when Mikwin got that ninja onto Kratos and stasis CTF, and make sure he doesn't have a repeat performance of that. But this is fantastic for E6. We're talking about they want to keep it close, and now they have kept it close and also have power weapons and power-ups.
Now, I like this from Kratos here, not taking any chances and watching the angles. He knows that this team is not afraid to hide behind a wall or just hide in a corner. We've seen that from Mikwin last season, actually winning some games on this game type here as well. Now Kratos still moving around with this scatter shot, but his OS is long gone at this point. Now, with that scatter shot, is a good up-close battle, but Hook able to pick up the kill and escape.
You can see Kratos was just caught in a rock in a hard place, had nowhere to go, was trying to do whatever he can to take a player down to no shields or at least get the kill. And that's a little bit of an unfortunate turn of events for him, because he was looking to go on a little bit of a spree. He had the overshield charged up there, but you saw how good the bait and switch was from Envy. They just deteriorated his entire overshield and eventually take him out, and that's gonna be big for them because we're getting towards the end of the game here. Only 14 more kills for Envy to walk away with this one.
And that was a good heads-up play from Hook, actually. He had that scatter shot and used the bounce shot off the wall to secure the kill on I think it was Kratos that was hiding down there. So it's just a really good job, heads-up play, using all the weapons to their full potential.
This overshield is going to be coming up, and that's going to be the determining factor in this game because it's pretty much an even score here. Yeah, you're down 1 kill, but you do have decent map control, and you have the weapons on your side, mainly Stellar with this scatter shot. So let's see if he's able to get that green gun out of Mikwin's hands, get that over into the E6 side, and then drop down for the overshield right when that comes up. And I believe it was around like that 42 mark. So let's see if the side of Optic, or the side of Envy is aware of this one, and then let's see if E6 is going to elect to drop with the scatter shot.
Envy's just bouncing around here over towards Carside, focusing on moving towards bottom center and trying to contest this. Plasmacaster is up, as you can see Snipetown creeping his way up to try and secure that weapon. And I like the flank here from Stellar. OS is in fact up now. Oh, and it looks like Hook will grab that, and Stellar can't pick up the last shot. Now, they did take away a lot of that overshield, but that's a big kill change. Yeah,
that's insane swing for Envy. That was what they were looking for. Again, that was the determining factor, that giant fight when the game was pretty much tied. They get 3 slays in their favor, and they also get the overshield. Now they have complete map control, but it's not over for E6 quite yet. They need to just slow this one down, make sure they get a pick here, and then push out. But Mikwin's going to say no, gets aggressive in there, starts to collapse on the base with the rest of his teammates, and that's pretty much a perfect play coming out from the side of Envy. Switching over to the scatter shot, and Kratos shuts him down, but that's going to be pretty much it for these guys. Unless Envy chokes this one away, I don't see them losing this.
Right, I mean, Snipetown running around here with this plasma caster, and now he will drop his pistol to pick up a BR as well, but you got 3 members of Envy kind of all around that top center, have great angles, great height advantage. Snipetown knows there's a player here below him who's going to look for an angle to try to cut him off. That's a scatter shot. Wow, Snipetown, what a great Plasmacaster shot to take him no shields and actually secure that.
That's a huge play because, yeah, he got the kill, but E6 ended up collapsing and getting all 4 kills. So imagine if Snipetown going to get that, it'd be 43 to 46 right now. So every kill really matters and every trade really matters, and that's all you really want for Envy is just to try to get a trade. And I'm shocked that they're pushing out so quickly and just giving up free deaths like this. All 4 dead for Envy. E6 right back in this, 47 to 47. I can't believe E6 Envy didn't slow play this and just wait for E6 to make a mistake. They just charged out like the game was over.
Yeah, I mean, given to Suspector a triple kill and then 2 melees for 2 kills, no trades or anything. A couple players weak. Oh, but 3 members up top. Sniped just grabbed so much there. Everyone dying. Stellar gets that plasma caster, but it's too little. He's no help, no teammates around, and Envy dodges a bullet on that game number 2.
Wow, E6 really made that close and made that a competitive game, and that's good for them when they move into the game 3 here, because they're down 2-0 in the series, but they're a very resilient team, so that's one thing that they can take away from that one. But that was just a really big missed opportunity. They did tie it up 47-47, and then they weren't expecting Envy to charge out immediately again, just like they just did. And Envy just pushes out car side, and that's the correct play coming out from Envy. They charged out bottom center and going through the bridge last time when you don't want to go that way. You want to go through the car side because there's a little bit more cover, and it's just better angles for you. But that was a really big pickup from Hook there, and that could have been, you know, all of these highlights here were just big kills because it was just a 3-kill game.
Especially that kill right there and that scatter shot, being able to shut that player down. A Spectre obviously had that double melee, great play here to bring it back, tie that game, and God, I can't believe they were able to throw that one away. It was in a split spot.
He had a nade right there and didn't realize that they were already coming out of the base. So just imagine, you know, it's hindsight, but just imagine if he would have pre-naded where they would have spawned, came out the car side. Those 2 players wouldn't have pushed out. Maybe he would have got a kill. Probably could have won that 1v1 over there on the car side guy because he had a battle rifle as well. So that's just unfortunate for them. They did play a lot better in that Regret Slayer, though. You can see 50-47 compared to that 3-0 in Coliseum CTF.
Yeah, it really looked like Enigma6 just wasn't prepared for, I mean, and it might have been a split spawn. I'd have to go back and, you know, take a look there, but Snipedown did come from the opposite base as the other 2 members who pushed out car side. So that's a, you know, big thing to keep in mind, that, you know, Enigma6, they almost had that one and it just slipped through their fingers.
The start of this game is very important. Strongholds on Eden. You're going up against a team that is very strong at slaying, and there's multiple weapons on here, so you got to do whatever you can to try to maintain control. And 2 kills immediately going over to Envy. Looks like a possible 3rd if they can take out Stellar. Kratos gets 2 kills though, so that's not too bad for E6. However, Envy is going to be able to get that blue bend and also capture the catwalk at the same time. They will have an advantage here, especially if they can get these rockets, but they look like they grenaded back.
All right, and look, another user or fan tweet here. They messed up as soon as they let Hoop touch the snipe. E6 is better off throwing that bad boy off the map, and I can't really argue that point with what Hoop's been able to do, and he put that weapon to use, or to perfection almost.
Now Kratos is making his way over towards Blue Bend, but he's by himself. Going to need someone else to come in here and try to double cap this one. It looks like that's going to be Suspector, but Suspector has the rockets, so he doesn't want to overcommit. Either way, they are able to capture this Blue Bend, so that's a good sign for E6. They have this little poor man setup between Red Nest and Blue Bend. Eventually going to want to try to get Catwalk. 6 stick coming in from Hook. Yeah, give him the sniper rifle, give him grenades, whatever you give him, he's going to get kills with them.
All right, Bubudubu also grabbing a great kill here. Mikwin's trying to put some shots down. He will help kill Suspector, who had those rockets, put those down. That's a, excuse me, that's a double kill. He's fighting the player top catwalk, but ultimately Stellar will get the better of him on that one.
And we have the first official choke coming from Kyle here, and he's continuing to choke off the stream.
That's exactly correct.
But yeah, so this is good right now for Envy. They do have a nice little setup here. It's good to have the catwalk, especially when the camouflage is coming up here. That's going to give you the spawns that you need inside security here. But Stellar with the perfect shots. That's big. Rockets coming up here in 20 seconds. They're going to try to go for this blue bend, stop the bleeding, and then try to rotate over here. The thing is Overshield's coming up here too. So as much as you want to try to go back and get that red nest, you have to focus on getting these weapons first, because you can't afford to at least, you know, give Envy some of these weapons in their hands. It's going to be ugly.
I mean, and Envy's doing a really good job here battling for these rockets. They're actually, looks like they're pushing E6 back, but a little bit of a fake out as Kratos doubles back. Suspector helps him out. That's going to be rockets down now. They're trying to set up for this OS, but that's OS and rockets now going over to E6.
Snipedown grabs that overshield. Yeah, so Snipedown grabs that overshield and then takes out that rocket guy. Nice job by the rocket guy to at least waste 2 of them and take down his overshield, but Snipedown doesn't care about that. He's just looking for this triple cap. Interestingly enough, there are players spawning on that blue platform area, so Snipedown going to try to get that intel on that. Looks like he wastes one rocket, wastes the other one, gets a kill, also has help coming in from behind, gets that capture as well. Here goes the triple cap again coming out from Envy. E6 has to formulate a plan here. They have to get at least Blue Ben to start. They do have red spawn, so it looks like they're going to go over here towards the nest instead.
And E6 has to be getting worried now because we saw exactly how good Envy can be on this game type, especially when they matched up against Evil Geniuses and shut them down, not even getting 14 seconds when they did that rematch there. So this triple cap, I wouldn't be surprised if E6 is not able to break out of it for the rest of this game.
I mean, this is pretty much Envy watching Optic Gaming, seeing how they did against Allegiance, and then saying, okay, well, you guys dominated Allegiance, well, we're going to dominate a better team in E6 and just show that we haven't lost a beat either, because this is pretty much what the story is going to come down to. It's going to be this Envy versus Optic Gaming squad until someone like, again, Evil Geniuses, Luminosity, Team Liquid, any one of these squads have to step up and prove themselves as the third best team, and until someone steps up and do that, it's going to be this conversation of, you know, 1 and 2, in my opinion.
All right, and as Enigma6 was able to secure the nest, it was only for a few seconds, and they weren't able to rack up any kind of points either. Already back in favor of Envy. Now you do have Kratos picking up a kill. This is a good chance for them to try to get something going here, but look at the score differential at this point, this early into the game. Like, whether or not they're going to be able to mount any sort of real comeback to make this interesting is yet to be determined here, but it's not looking good.
Just look at Hook's point of view. He's literally flying around the map, doing whatever he pleases, not getting shot at, and then you switch over to someone, you know, like Suspector's point of view, and he's immediately getting shot off spawn. So just two completely different stories here between the two teams. And Envy, again, they were definitely watching that series against Optic while they were warming up and saw that Optic played so well against Allegiance, and they wanted to prove themselves here, prove to other players and teams and their fans that, you know, they are the #1 team here, and you can't really argue against it. I mean, that was a fantastic series, 3-0 against C6.
I mean, and that was a hot 3-0 if we've ever seen one before. And taking a look at some of these kills here, Hook, no surprise, leading the pack, 11 kills, 4 captures, 2 secures, so basically just doing everything.
I'm not surprised that that game wasn't even close. I mean, it was wishful thinking. Yeah, 50-47 you lost, but that takes the wind out of your sail because you see how good these guys are, and if you play that game so well and you don't walk away with a W, it's just going to be extremely deflating because you're already down 2-0 in the series, and again, you're going up against a team that has amazing slayers, and there's multiple weapons and power-ups for these guys to grab, and you can just see they're just going on killing sprees non-stop, running around the map flawlessly, and there you have it. There's your scores.
That was a quick one, especially games 1 and 3. Envyus is proving why they are so dominant. And this kind of goes back to Snipedown's point, because we talked about how we thought they would be the better Slayer team, but they feel like they're the actually better objective team. And these stats and the scores of these 3 games do reflect that.
I'm not worried about Envy on Strongholds games, because in Slayer games, because that's what slaying's all about. Slaying, obviously, it's Team Slayer. That's what it's called. It's in the name. But you have Strongholds, and Strongholds is much about slaying more than any other game type as well, because you get control, and they just have to fill into this spot that is the Stronghold area, and it even tells you when they're going in it, and then you just use the radar. I mean, it's pretty simple. So it's very easy to play your setups. It's so hard to retake things, and that's why you see games go 100-10 or crazy comebacks when teams have 95 or 99 points. So the only thing I'm worried about for these guys is who's going to do the dirty work, who's going to run the flag. But they've put an end to that question already so far with how they've played, and they seem to all be willing to do the objective. And that's what's so scary, is that once they start using each other's play styles to better one another and start to really flourish as a team, that's when you're going to see this result. And that's, you know, first place finish after week 3. I think they're sitting at 5-1.
Right, now Envy is on that just dominant spree, and we have our win review coming up here with Mikwin, who we haven't had a chance to speak to all that much. Mikwin, you looking a little frozen.
Yeah, smile for us, Austin.
I'm a little frozen.
All right, man, so I got a question for you. Were you guys watching the Optic Gaming series against Allegiance and saw that they kind of came out with the 3-0 and were like, all right, we're going to have to come out with a 3-0 as well?
I mean, we watched it, but I mean, you always kind of want to strive to go to 3-0, right?
Right.
You want to win every game. The easier, the better. So, but no, I mean, you know, we know, like, even though we won yesterday, we know how good Optic is. Like, we always will. And we always will respect them to the fullest degree. And some people may not think that, but obviously, like, that series yesterday was so close. Like, it could have been Like, they easily could have won it. They were up 47, 44, and somehow Ola did Ola things.
Yeah, Ola with the wand, making magic. But let's talk about, speaking of close series, this one wasn't necessarily close, and E6 has been playing at a pretty decently high level. I mean, we saw what they did yesterday. I was definitely expecting this one to at least be a 3-1 or 3-2. Was this what we can expect from Envy? Is this what you guys normally see in scrims, and now you're starting to prove it in the Pro League?
Yeah, I think so. Our scrims are usually pretty lopsided. I mean, we've had really good scrim record since we formed. So obviously, when you do tournaments, you got to figure out your communication together, and you got to figure out like just how to play as perfect as possible. Obviously, no team plays perfect, and it takes time to iron that out. And I think that as Pro League goes on, and after this 2-week break that we're going to have, where we can just scrim and only scrim and talk about things and just focus on one thing at a time for 2 weeks straight, I think that's going to help us a lot.
So what are you guys going to do during that 2 weeks? Would you mind maybe even letting us know if you guys did have a weakness, what would that be, and what you guys are going to try to work on as a team?
I think we're just going to scrim as much as possible. I mean, try not to take too many days off. In terms of weakness, I mean, really the only thing is if we get outslayed, getting control back is our weakness. So what we've been doing in scrims is actually purposely giving teams control and trying to get it back. We've actually been trying that out.
Play out of Elamite's book.
So that's the thing that I would say that we need to work on the most. But that's something that I think all teams struggle with in Halo 5 except for Optic. I think that's something that nobody perfected except for Optic early on. And when you're a new team, that's just what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's a matter of, retaking control and also keeping control. And it seems like you guys definitely have things on lockdown when it comes to that.
Yeah, and of course, Austin, once again, congratulations for that victory, as you guys are proving and living up to everyone's expectations. And of course, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good one.
All right, Envy.
Dominating. That was nasty. I mean, they're making quick work of these teams that are putting up amazing fights against other guys. So again, this is going to be, we still have a long way to go into the season. We haven't seen teams even match up against one another twice. But if Envy continues to play against teams that are in that 4th, 5th, 6th conversation and slaps them around like this, it's going to be a very, very, very crazy race between them and Optic.
Yeah, I mean, if they're able to continue this pace, and of course we know, we're going to be seeing Optic at the finals here. So if you have Envy and Optic already running away in the front of the pack, it's a much tighter race for the final 2 spots.
Yeah, and we have LOL going up against EG after this, and that's going to be big. Again, LOL, if they take a game or take 2 away from EG, then that's going to say a lot about these guys. You have to go and you have to handle these teams like LOL, and that's what, Liquid messed up yesterday. Yeah, Liquid ended up coming out today. They had a good series against Luminosity, but these teams need to start being a little bit more consistent, and the teams that you're supposed to beat, you have to handle them. Yeah, you can drop a couple games to them in the scrims, but you can't afford to drop 3 on a Wednesday or Thursday here in the Pro League.
Can't afford to lose those Game 5s either, especially the close ones.
Yeah.
Now, if you like what you see at home and you want to see how you can participate, you can always play in the open circuit. And, of course, we've got the event coming up here pretty soon here at Orange County. So, of course, if you do want to participate, you can always go to halo.gg and find out all of the information about that open circuit, the events you can attend, and the different weekend online cups that you can participate in as well. And that is going to do it for series number 3, Envy, with a hot 3-0. Coming up next is going to be LOL versus Evil Geniuses. So can LOL continue their momentum from last night, or will Evil Geniuses be able to bounce back from that kind of embarrassing loss? We'll find out right after we take a quick break, so don't go anywhere.